Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chop and Slice. I'm one of the co-hosts, Michael, and this is
Brandon.
And we are here to talk about the movie Run that came out in 2020. It is a Hulu exclusive.
Yeah, it came out during COVID.
Came out during the year of COVID, maybe a little after that. But, yeah, we're here to discuss the movie. If you want to give some detail on what the plot is a little bit for everybody out here. Brandon.
So the movie's basically about Munchausen syndrome, I believe they call it, where it's typically found in women where they'll like poison their kids and then they want to take care of them, and I don't know, I guess it gives them a feeling of I don't know, what would you call it?
Like the mom needing, like she feels like she's needed.
Right, I guess maybe to
control.
give her a feel of purpose, maybe.
Yeah, she wants to feel in control.
But the movie doesn't give, like, all this away, like, right away. Like, but basically what it is the daughter, her daughter that she's taking care of, supposedly, was actually snatched from the hospital. So it's not even her real...
but we don't find that out till
right,
end.
Exactly. We don't find that out till later, but this is a spoiler review anyway. This just makes it easier to...
Spoiler, guys, ahead.
This just kind of makes it easier to break it down.
So, in the opening scene, we see the mother, Diane. She has, she's going through labor, and unfortunately, her baby, we find out, is premature, and the baby looks stillborn.
It had all kinds of serious conditions,
yeah,
heart conditions, and
all types of stuff. So then we fast forward to now, current time. We see her and her daughter. Chloe is the name of her daughter, and we see her in a wheelchair, and we see Diane, the mother, feeding her some pills and stuff like that. So we're assuming at this point, like I said, that she is the premature baby and that she, needs the medicine for being premature, for all the things that had happened to her during her birth. So, you want to speak on it some more?
So, we kind of get to know Chloe a little bit. We see her in a wheelchair, her mother gives her all these pills, and Chloe's pretty independent. She gets around the house pretty well for being handicapped. She's got like this lift thing that goes up and down the stairs. Yeah. She kind of builds like these kind of robot arm things where
Grabbers.
She can right these like mechanic grabber thing.
She's very intelligent.
Very, very intelligent. And she's trying to get into this college. And she keeps waiting on a letter, but her mother always beats her to the mail. And
she's hiding approval letters from the college, it seems like. And she tells Chloe, you'll be the first one to open it when it's a college letter.
And she's super controlling, too. Like, she'll only, whenever she has chocolate, like, she'll only let Chloe have one. And so she's just very controlling of everything she eats and everything she does, and she just wants her tied down to the house.
Yeah.
Seems like.
So, basically, she starts feeding her this medicine, and Chloe is getting suspicious about it. She starts spitting it out. We see her throwing up a lot.
Well, what made her suspicious about it was because going back to the chocolates, she tried to, when her mom walked away, she tried to sneak in the bag to steal some more of the chocolates, and then she pulled the she found the prescription pills in there, and it was prescribed to Diane. So but then Diane lies to her and said that it was the receipt. Who would buy that?
Yeah,
But
that the receipt is wrapped around the prescription bottle, which is kind of funny. And Chloe seems to be smarter than that. She's actually very intelligent. And it is kind of unique, the relationship they have. It seems at first, like Chloe is very, very scared of her mother. Then over time in the movie, she becomes more and more brave. And, she just grows a set and starts trying to figure what's going on in her life. Why is she in a wheelchair? What's going on? What's going on with all this medicine? Later on in the movie, we actually see her, try to look up what this medicine is, and there's no Wi-Fi, there's no internet. And then you can see in the background her mother sitting the kitchen table or whatever.
Creepy.
And she's just staring a hole through her while Chloe is looking through the computer trying to figure out what medicine her mom is forcing her to take. So that was a really creepy scene, I'll admit.
And then we see Diane supposedly talking about the internet on the phone. And then Chloe, I think, confronts her about it, about the no internet. And Diane's like, how'd you know I was on the phone about the internet? And she said that she tried to use the computer last night, but she lied and said that she was looking for a part for her computer or something.
Printer.
Her printer.
Printer wasn't working. So later on, we see them. Chloe ask her mom, "Hey, can we go to the movie theater?" So I was surprised that her mom was like. I think she was even surprised at the answer. Her mom said, "Yeah, what movie you want to go see?" So they go to the movie theater.
But Chloe has other plans in mind because she tried to find out the name of the medication. The internet was down, and she tried calling a pharmacy, and the pharmacy said that. Well, they said that if they patched her through, it would be like a 99-cent charge, and she didn't want
her mom finding out.
Seeing that. So
the theater happens to just be across from the prescription service or whatever, pharmacy. So Chloe has to go use the bathroom. She goes in, and turns out that she goes right over to the pharmacy. She cuts the line, begging the lady at the front to tell her the name of the medicine, and then to come find out that it's
Ridocaine.
Ridocaine.
The pharmacy didn't want to give her the name of it because it was confidential, but then when the pharmacy realized that it was actually dog medicine, because their pharmacy is linked to the vet stuff.
Yeah.
And Chloe's like, we don't even have a dog.
And that was a pretty tense moment too, because you're trying to figure out, because as a viewer you want to know what's going on too. So it's very interesting that if it was given to a human, that it could paralyze your legs. It does disable.
Because it's a muscle relaxant for dogs.
Yeah, so it affects your legs for a human, if a human was to take it. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not take this medicine.
I think it's fictional medicine.
No, Ridocaine is real.
I don't think so. I think it's...
No, it's...
I think the name is fictional, but I think there are pills out there that are like it. But I think the name is
We'll do a
fiction.
fact check. So anyways, her mom finds out. And then next thing you know, she barricades poor Chloe in the room. And then Chloe, somehow, being brilliant as she is, she finds an escape route out the window. Crawling to Diane's room, breaking that window open in a very unique way. With a blowtorch, right?
When she breaks through the window?
Yeah.
It was like this...
Not a blowtorch. No.
It wasn't a blowtorch. It was like this...
Hot iron.
Yeah, and she had the water in her mouth, and she touched it with the glass and then spit water on it, and it busted the glass. Very clever.
And then she broke through that. And then she got out the room. She found that the phone cord was cut. So Diane was cutting all the phone cords. All that, just being overprotective, over-controlling. And then eventually you find out Chloe doesn't have her inhaler. So she runs back to get that. Barely surviving that anxiety attack. Then she ends up falling down the stairs because her machine's disabled. And then she finds out, oh, shoot, I can move my feet. So that's a little nugget that was put in her head. Maybe I can walk. Maybe there's something to this going on. So.
Yeah. So with all that being said, she just tries to escape the house, and that's when she comes across the mailman. After she gets herself back in her chair, tells the mailman everything, and wants to help her out. And then this is just where we see the mom go completely psycho. She takes out the mailman with the tranquilizer.
I thought this part was really cool because you saw her pull out. She had a choice between a gun or a tranquilizer. It's like she is just so weird, and with the whole medicine, she's obsessed with like this medicine. So in a way, she could have just shot him. She could have, but she wanted to I don't know. She's obsessed with this medicine crap and shoots him up with medicine. It's like you saw the gun. She was putting bullets in it, and then she decided to stab him. I thought that was just a very unique choice. That kind of threw me off a bit because I thought she was just going to shoot him, but instead, maybe, I don't know.
So yeah, she takes the mailman out with a tranquilizer, and then captures Chloe, and then Chloe finds herself in the basement, which she was actually forbidden to be down there, but her mother locked her down there, I guess. And this is where everything really starts to unravel. That's where Chloe finds out that Diane really isn't her mother, and that she was taken from the hospital.
Yep,
and
she goes through newspapers
and finds the college stuff that she
was throwing away, her college acceptance papers. She had a whole box, Diane did, of Chloe's parents, where it titled "Baby Snatched," And then we see a flashback scene,
and we see the death certificate of a baby named Chloe that was only alive for 2 hours.
Yeah, and Chloe's in shock and disbelief, and then we see a flashback scene of Diane looking at this baby that just got put in, and we see her just looking over, and that ends up being Chloe, the baby she ended up snatching from the hospital. Which I'm surprised nobody found out that she did that. I mean, there should be cameras everywhere. But, that's a little whatever. You got to look past that, I guess. But, anyways, see.
So, finally, Diane comes down, and this is where she just starts to go totally crazy and says that she, did this all for her, but really she did it for herself. And then goes to... I don't know why, trying to shoot her with the paint thinner.
That would kill her.
Yeah, and so, but then later on, Chloe decides to drink this poison. I don't remember what it was.
I'm not sure what it was.
But then Diane was just about to kill her anyway.
Yeah,
and then
that kind of made no sense to me.
Then got all upset when Chloe just
maybe
tried
she
to
wanted to be the one to do it. I don't know. And then she freaked out when Chloe did it. Surprisingly, she took Chloe to a hospital, which I didn't think she was. Then we see Chloe getting pumped out of her throat, all the toxins or whatever that she drank. So she's getting pumped out. And then you can just see Diane looking over at her through the glass, and then I don't know. There's a code blue, and I don't know if I'm assuming Diane caused that.
Probably.
She probably caused that. Probably pulled a plug on one of the patients, and then she goes and snatches Chloe, and then
Well, before that, Chloe was talking to the nurse. Chloe wanted to write something down.
She couldn't speak at this time.
Right, because she had that pump in her
So
mouth. So she wrote something down on the piece of paper, and then that's when Diane snatched her up while the nurse was gone during the code blue, and then when the nurse returned, the patient was gone, and she saw the word "mom" written there.
MOM.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the nurse freaking out. She calls security. They run and they find Diane and Chloe. Diane pulls out the weapon that she had previously that I talked about in her trunk. Maybe that's what the movie was setting that up for. Then we see her pointing the guns. And then she ends up getting shot down some escalators or some stairs.
I think it was just the stairs because the escalator was out of order, so she couldn't go there.
So it was some stairs. And then
she gets shot in the shoulder. And
I, at this point, assumed she was dead. But later to come find out, she was not. So we fast forward to, 7
years later.
We go into this psych ward, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
We see Chloe still in the wheelchair. I thought it would have been nice if she wasn't. I thought it would have been a lot more effective. I thought she found out she could walk.
She
does with the cane.
With the cane, but
I thought,
it did so much damage to her after taking it for so many years.
Yeah.
So she is saying that her walk has been improving and getting better. She can move her legs, and that's what's important. Because if you were paralyzed, you would not be able to move your legs and walk, even with the cane. So
we do come out to find out she reunited with her parents. She does talk about, and she does have kids now.
Mm-hmm.
Just something she mentioned. So she talks about kids hanging out with their grandparents, and her mom looks so much different. I didn't even realize that was her mom. Like,
yeah, it was.
She looked a lot like just beat up, worn out, and she's talking, and she says, I thought at this point I was like, no, you can't forgive her, because that's what I thought they were gonna do. I thought she was gonna forgive her. That's what I thought. Like, oh, come on. Then to come and find out, she was hiding lidocaine in her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And
she said, "I love you, Mom. Now open wide."
Yeah. So it seems like she's been feeding her lidocaine as a little revenge, which
giving her a taste of her own medicine, quite literally. Quite literally.
So I thought that was a really good ending.
Yeah.
The movie as a whole, it's a little slow. I feel like they're in a setting too long, like in that house for a little too long. I like when they get outside of the house. I like movies where it's all different settings. Like, I thought they were in the house a little too much for me. It was suspenseful at times. I don't really necessarily... It was more thriller than horror. It really wasn't scary. It was more intense. There were some scenes where I was like a little on edge, not knowing what would happen. Because this movie could have ended in a lot of different ways. Chloe could have died. Diane could have died, the mother.
It was really unpredictable how the movie would end.
Yeah, yeah.
It could have ended any way, really. But I do feel like the ending that they did decide to go with
was probably the best.
Yeah, that was probably the best way they could have ended it. Sweet revenge. That was nice.
There was a lot of good, and the acting was pretty good, especially by the mother, Diane.
And Chloe was good too. Like when she finds out like the truth of everything, where you actually see her crying and stuff. Like it looked very real.
Yeah, like the acting was really superb in this movie. I enjoyed the acting very much, and it was kind of cool because it was something you don't see too often. Two female-led cast movie.
Yeah,
and they both did a great job. So, I like the fact they didn't have a dad included in this. It was just a mom and daughter. And as a guy, I don't really see that a whole lot.
They don't even mention like any father figure. It was just strictly, it just stuck with
mother
and daughter.
I thought that was very cool. And yeah, this is a very serious movie and a very real thing that does happen to real people. Unfortunately, we hear stories about it all the time. So hopefully, anybody listening to this hasn't gone through what happened in this movie, because it's a very real thing, unfortunately. And yeah,
A lot of sick mothers out there.
yeah, they got issues. And I don't know if they can see what's going on, but so let's give this movie a rating. As a whole, as a movie, I don't really look at this too much as horror, but as a film thriller, it's shot very nicely, very well done for a Hulu exclusive film. Surprisingly, I'd have to give it. It's a movie I can't, like, it's not rewatchable to me because all the twists, now you know what's going on. Probably give it a solid 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10.
So I thought it was pretty well done, shot well, acting well. But as a horror-wise, it's not too scary. And they could have capitalized on a few other things. But I think overall solid.
Okay, so
Brandon?
I enjoyed this movie. I would kind of consider this horror, I think, because this could be horror for a lot of people.
Based on people's perspectives.
To me, I would consider this like a good psychological horror, psychological thriller or horror.
That's fair.
However you want to.
Similar to like Fatal Attraction or something like that.
Sort of. It's not really an obsession movie, but well,
it is.
Yeah, kind of. Never mind.
The mom is obsessed with everything Chloe does.
Yeah, good point. I really enjoyed this movie. I actually around the time when the movie came out, I actually found it on Facebook, but I never got around to watching it. And I wanted to watch it for quite a long time, and finally watched it, and I just figured this would be a great movie to cover. And I quite enjoyed it. This movie, I felt it was fast paced. It escalated pretty quickly. I'm gonna give an 8.5.
8.5.
I don't like it quite as much, like, to give it a 9, because if I gave it a 9, that would make it one of my favorite movies, and that's just not. It's not like my favorite movie of all time.
No,
but
so that gives it an official Chop and Slice rating of 15 out of 20.
15 out of 20, baby.
So that's pretty solid. That's beating a lot of films.
Don't want to mention any names, but Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Yeah. I don't even remember. We already got some hate on the comments. Go check out that review if you want to have a laugh. Go check out the movie if you want to have a laugh. Yeah, I think we should just crap on that movie every time we talk. We do a review. Jeepers Creepers Reborn sucks, guys. Get over it. And I'm sorry if you played in the movie. He's the one that gives the respectful responses, and we try to be respectful. That movie is just awful, guys. There's no way around it.
It's horrible.
And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that if you were an extra in the movie and you want to defend it, but just
accept that it sucked, and I'm glad you got paid a hot dog and a handshake, as they say, because that movie had no budget. The budget was like $10, what I have in my wallet right now.
The budget was the hot dog and the handshake.
Yeah, I mean. Anyways,
back to Run.
Yeah, I want to run from that movie.
Just keep shitting on it.
I think we should just do another review on it. Honestly,
I don't.
Just to get our frustrations out there.
No, we're gonna. You might see him in rankings like worst movies of all time, but
we're gonna actually get into some of the real Jeepers Creepers movies.
Yeah, soon. We do got to get into.
We got a whole lot to get into, guys. So
yeah, the Victor Salva ones.
Yeah, and I know what happened with him, but he would have been much better anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But overall, this was a pretty solid movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Go check it out, guys. Go watch it. I recommend it. I'm sorry if this twist and spoilers are, spoiled, but I think we'll be fine, guys. Go check it out. Appreciate everyone for listening. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and yeah.
And close this off. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, and I hope you guys
stay away from like dog medicine.
And I hope you guys have a mom that loves you.
That actually loves you.
That actually loves you, and not just thinks she does. But that's another thing. I think her mom really believed she was doing the right thing. She did. But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. This has been another review from Chop and Slice. Later, guys.